Welcome back. My colleague got me pregnant while my husband was stationed abroad. Now, my husband wants to divorce me and leave me with nothing in my heavily pregnant state. I, 25 female, have been married to my military husband, 32, for the past 2 years. We met at a restaurant near a military base on a trip with my family. My dad approached a table with men in military uniform and said something to them, and he hit it off with my dad, who's a veteran. Later into our dining, my dad introduced him to our family and our tables joined. We kept eyeing each other the whole time in respect of my father's presence. He didn't ask me out or ask for my number at the table. Instead, he slipped me his number under the table. I contacted him and we started talking. We tied the knot about 6 months into dating, and I know this might seem like a short time of knowing each other before such a huge commitment, but we just knew that we were meant for each other. When we got married, we got a house from the government, one of the many benefits of being in the military and being a military spouse. A year ago, my husband got drafted. Before leaving, he sat me down and we talked about how we were going to communicate, how he was leaving his cards to me so that I could take care of the finances and his parents while he was gone. We talked about the future, what to expect, and our hope for building a family and how excited he was to be a dad. When he left, we kept in contact as we talked about, and we were doing this long-distance thing quite well. It was great to see his face and talk. But it was lonely seeing his face on a screen at certain times of the day was not enough. I wanted to be touched, I needed to be held, and he wasn't there. Sometime later, my company hired a new guy and I had to show him the ropes. He was handsome, consistent, and always showed interest in me. Initially, I resisted his advances and clearly stated that I was happily married, which he didn't seem to care about. Later, his small actions of bringing me snacks, inviting me to dinner, just talking and slight touches got to me. I was lonely, touch-starved, and I missed my husband. One night, after our usual dinners, we had a bit to drink, and he kissed me. I kissed him back. I came to me senses and ran off. I felt so guilty afterwards that I couldn't face my husband in our video calls. What made me feel even guiltier was the fact that after I couldn't stop fantasying about my colleague and our kiss and what it could have been. I tried avoiding him at work, but it was impossible. He came to me and apologized for making me uncomfortable, and we talked. One thing led to another, and we kissed again. We were not able to deny the desire, so we agreed on a purely sexual relationship. We would meet up in secret. Initially, we started at motels, then each other's houses. It was pure ecstasy. Yesterday, I found out that I was 3 months pregnant. I thought the unstable moods, sensitive nose, nausea, and weight gain were due to lack of sleep, stress, and unhealthy eating habit that I had developed due to the pressure and busy schedule at work. I eventually went to see a doctor about these symptoms and found out that I was pregnant and have just finished my first trimester. I'm shocked and scared. There's no way that it's my husband's. I haven't been with my husband for almost a year. He'll know that I cheated if he sees me. What do I do? How do I hide this? Update. 2 months ago, I posted a story on getting pregnant by my colleague while my military husband was drafted and stationed abroad. Well, I couldn't do anything about the baby because it had already passed the first trimester, so I'm pretty pregnant as I speak. My husband came to surprise me for my birthday 2 months ago. He was not supposed to be back for another 3 months, and I hadn't yet mustered up the courage to tell him I was pregnant. To say that he was shocked and angered to find me pregnant would be an understatement. But what caught me off guard was the complete and utter disgust that he displayed. He threw a fit, breaking things and ruining the decorations for my birthday, and was scolding me in front of my birthday guests. After that, he left in a rage, and I haven't seen him since. We all tried calling, none of us can reach him, including his parents. We're all worried and have no idea where he is and what state he's in. We even called shelters, hospitals, and police stations. Nothing. I just need a chance to explain. Edit. This is not a good edit. A week after my husband went missing, his parents called mine and told them not to worry. He called and told them he was safe. Even they, his parents, refused to talk to me and are asking my parents to persuade me to sign the divorce papers he sent, after all I've done for them while their son was away. I was the one that took care of them and made sure that they were okay. I feel so betrayed by their behavior. Why doesn't he come here himself so that we can talk about this like adults? It doesn't have to end this way. How could he treat me like this in the state that I'm in? He's always wanted to be a dad. Now that there's a blessing in our lives, he wants to abandon me. If we divorce, do I lose the house? I can't believe he wants me to end up in the streets while I'm pregnant. Final update. It's been a while since I last updated. I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. Her biological dad got a promotion and hightailed out of there as soon as he could. He couldn't handle the whispers and stare we got at work. Well, neither could I, so I quit. Being jobless and recently divorced, yes, he divorced me, I had to find a way to take care of my baby. That's why I sued my husband for child support. And I won child support and got to keep the house he paid for since he bought me out of it. I still feel cheated though. He makes way more than he's paying for child support and he refuses to meet the baby. I'm currently talking to a lawyer to take him to court again to have the child support increased, since I don't have a job anymore and cannot live the lifestyle that I'm used to and want to live. But my lawyer says it's a moot point, especially considering he isn't even the real father. My lawyer says not to press my luck, but I really need the money. I just want to take care of my child, our child, to the best of my ability. Edit. So my ex apparently filed a petition to disestablish paternity of my child via DNA, and court has granted it. They're going to DNA test my child, and OMG, what the fridge am I going to do? My lawyer says it looks bad. We're in Florida, and he says I might lose the child. Please, I need advice. You're despicable, and I'm so freaking glad that your ex filed that petition. You shattered your marriage with your infidelity and then expect your ex-husband to financially support your child that's not even his? That's a whole new level of entitlement. Don't worry, he's going to get out of paying support to a child he didn't procreate. Here's some advice. Take responsibility for your actions, focus on being a responsible parent, and maybe, just maybe, try to make better life choices in the future. Your child deserves better than being caught in the crossfire of your own drama. Grow up and stop trying to pin other men's children on innocent men. Story 2. I need some input from someone who's gone through a similar situation. Some backstory. We met in 2014 and fell in love instantly. There was a huge spark and we were inseparable. We went to all kinds of events together and had a great time, always doing whatever we did. I always told her though, don't cheat on me and I won't cheat on you. I've never been cheated on and I was raised with good moral values. I would, still do, buy her flowers spontaneously. I'll handwrite cards for her. I do a lot of little things because if it's one thing I know, it's that life is all about the little things. Of course, like any relationship, we stayed getting comfy and doing less activities and stayed home a lot. Now I'm a huge advocate for talking about what's going on and how one can overcome it. I know our relationship was lacking in the sex department. It had gotten to the point where I would have to ask for sex. There is no more passion like there used to be. If I don't say nothing, it can be upwards of 2 weeks before she brings it up. She says that she doesn't feel that spark and she doesn't think about sex. Well, she cheated on me 2 months before our wedding at a bar with some guy who she told me there was a spark. Now here's the kicker. She sat me down post-cheating and before I knew about it and told me she was unsure about the relationship and where things were going. I calmed her and said, hey, what can I do to help improve things? She said you can do X, Y, and Z and hopefully that will improve things. I busted my ass off for those 2 months doing all this stuff. And every time things were going good, she would get into a mood about her happiness and how this wasn't working. I'm sure it was her guilt eating at her. Either way, she didn't tell me until 2 weeks before our wedding on the day my father passed away years ago, so that day is already tough for me as it is. I was incredibly upset about this. What was I doing all this for the past 2 months? What were the last 3 years? Who was by your side when you were recovering from a terrible car accident? She told me she was sorry and she would never do it again. I said that we can try to work things out. We got married anyway, and now 2 months later, I don't know if things are getting better. I still love her dearly, and I want to work things out. But am I holding on to something that isn't there anymore? I know our relationship is a two-way street, and I just feel like I'm putting all this effort into it and not seeing results. Has anyone been in a situation similar to this and overcome it with your SO? How long did it take for things to start getting better? Comments. Man, you screwed up royally. How could you just marry her like nothing happened? No, it's impossible for you to salvage this relationship. Only she can do it. But apparently she doesn't give a frick. Why would she anyway? She cheated on you, stomped on you, utterly disrespected you, and you married her anyway. Why should she take an effort if she apparently can take you for granted? Keep working your ass off while she's looking for spark in some other bar. No offense, you shouldn't have married her. If I were you, I would file for divorce and find someone better. Cheaters get better at hiding the cheating, or if they don't care, they're blatant about it. It doesn't sound like she wants to be married to you. You're there for her, but she doesn't sound like she's interested in being there for you. Find someone better for yourself. I left my cheating ex-wife 20 years ago. I've spent 14 of these last 20 years with a much better woman. Do the same for yourself.